we'll have that flag manufactured for the Sage brothers.
Now when we present this flag, it comes in a folded triangle form, similar to the American flag. Once we open it and display it, it's never meant to be folded in that manner again. That's reserved strictly for the American flag, which I have my uncle's, and it's in a memo box.
Gary Lauren Sage, Great Armand 3rd Class. Gregory Allen Sage Sr. Seaman Apprentice, Kelly Joe Sage. Seaman Apprentice, John Allen Saube. Boiler Tender Fireman, Robert James Cyril. Fireman Apprentice.
And to see that flag, oh my gosh, Eunice would be extremely pleased, proud, and so honored to have that flag. In honor of her 3 super kids. Doug Sage couldn't be here. He's in California driving a truck, but he said, make sure you tell everybody hi for me. He just felt bad he couldn't be here. He's driving a truck and life goes on. But this is a great honor to be here, to have the boys honored, to have, well, all 74 honored. And to me, everyone is just as important as Louise had said. They're all American boys, and we're proud of every one of them. Just thank you for coming. Glad to have you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda, for those good words. Our next
the community was very good supporters of our family. And in fact, remember, we had our youngest daughter was born there. And those 4 daughters now are all mothers and grandmothers. And our family has really expanded from that point in time. But we'll never forget Niobrara. It was really the start of my career as far as a teacher and a coach. And the memories are just go on and on and on. And the parents, even it didn't make any difference whether the Sage parents or the Liska parents or any parents in the community, they always stood behind me and supported me. And the only thing that was a drawback is that I made damn little money there. And really, I don't know how in the world we even survived, but we had people that would bring to our house. They bring milk to our house. They bring chickens to our house. They bring corn to our house. Even one year we even had somebody bring watermelons to our house and this kind of thing. But we made it, and Shirley Mae, my sweetheart, we ended up having the 4 daughters, and now we have 10 grandkids, and then also from that family we've grown now, we're up to 14 great-grandchildren, and they're all kicking and trying to outdo their grandma and their grandpa and their mom and their dad and this kind of thing, and it really I contribute to all of our success to our start in 1961 in Niobrara, Nebraska. Robert Pease hired me there as he was a school superintendent, hired me and believed in me and backed me, and I was there for, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years. And then during that period of time, I got acquainted with everybody in the community. I knew everybody by first and last name. And it was really a blessing. And I think God played a very important part in first and give me an opportunity to go there and coach and teach. And I had so many wonderful students. And but the top of the pack that I'll never forget them, those 3 Sage boys. They gave more to me than I could ever return to them. And love and respect and dedication to whatever they were doing for me as a player or a student or whatever. But I tell you, Niobrara was very fortunate to have a rookie coming out of college to come down there. And thank you, Niobrara, for supporting the Joneses and our efforts while we were there. I'll never forget you, and God bless you all.
Okay, right in here. Jack, this is your buddies from Niobrara. All right, I want the best football player to say something. the best looking cheerleader. Just wave and say thanks, Jack. You can talk to Jack. Jack, this is a good group of people. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Oh, Coach Jones, Don Hanslick up here at Niobrara. Just wanted to say a few words. I wanted to thank you always for what you've done for us, me and Sages, Ron Green, all us guys that played football. You gave us that extra umph. And when I was a nom, a lot of times when things got going bad, I thought about what you would tell us, and it got me through. Sort of. And I don't remember that.
This is the guy that got your husband put in jail?
He tried to. The night before, he didn't go to jail, but they outran the police and they
No.
That's a great story.
Oh, Halloween, that could be, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Different time.
Halloween, yes. And one of the guys, all my friends were over 6 foot. I mean, not all my friends, but my close friends that I would do things I shouldn't with were all big guys.
Yeah.
And yes, one of them got clothesline. Yes.
Oh, wasn't Greg, I don't think.
Oh no, it wasn't Greg. But anyway, and my wife didn't hit me. They did a root canal and it got infected. And they ended up pulling to him. It hurt so bad I couldn't stand it. I wanted somebody to shoot me. Oh, it hurt terrible.
Now he ran in track too.
Oh yeah.
440?
Yeah, 400 meters. Yeah,
400.
400. It was 440 then, though,
Oh,
yard.
okay.
But yeah, Greg would hand to me. Or no, I would hand to Greg because I was first and he was second.
Oh, okay. He picked up what you lost. His speed.
Because I could get it to him. See, he always wanted to grab it with that left hand. So
Oh, okay.
I'm supposed to grab it with the right hand.
Yeah.
I'd wave that
Okay,
baton.
okay.
I'd wave that baton as I'd come in and you get that right hand up. Get that left hand. For 2 years, we returned kickoffs together. He was a fullback and I was a halfback, wingback. And he graduates. He's a year ahead of me. He graduates. So Kelly's back there with me. And Kelly, you know, he wasn't the biggest guy in the world. He was about 5'8", 5'9" when he was a junior. And I was a senior. And we're back there. Coach Jones put him back there to return kickoffs with me. He said, what should I do if I get it? And he was just scared to death, you know. Well, he had never started a game in his life. It was the first game he ever started. Yeah. And see, Greg and Em had graduated the year ahead of me. Well, anyway, Coach has him back there with me. And I said, well, just give it to me. And sure as hell, I figured they won't, you know, I'll get it. Because I could run pretty good. And anyway, they kick it right to him, and he turns around, and his eyes are this big, you know, because they're coming, you know. And anyway, he turns and he pitches it to me. So I'm running back to get it, and I catch it over my shoulder, and then I turn around, and I run it back. And anyway, Kelly said, I'm sorry, I almost threw it over your head. I said, that's all right, you did fine. I said, you did fine. And Coach didn't give him hell or anything. But of course, I went back and caught it like a center fielder, you know.
And then you took it to a touchdown?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, cool.
Wow, good story.
Against Elkhorn Valley, and asked Coach Jones if I didn't return a touchdown against Elkhorn Valley my senior year, 96 yards. We ended up, Wilmer Flying Hawk, good friend of mine, I was a holder for the extra point, and Coach Jones, he went with a extra point kick. And I thought, we can do it. And I told Moose, Wilmer Feinhock, and his nickname was Moose. I said, Moose, I said, you got the best holder in the state of Nebraska. I said, let's get it through. And he laughed. He said, you got the best kicker too. And he kind of smiled. No, he was the kicker.
Oh, he was the kicker.
I was the holder. And so old Ray Dietzen, he was about the best snapper in Nebraska too. He snapped it right on the line to me. I put it down and Moose kicked it through. So we held it in the fourth quarter and we won 14-13. But that was Coach Jones's last football game he coached. The last one, I played in junior college. But before I went to Brinkport, but trying to get warm. But anyway, Coach Jones, let's kick that extra point.
Didn't you tell me Jack left a positive mark? That's what I want you to say.
He left a positive mark here, and everybody liked him for sure.
And you were an angel.
I'm Herbie Knudsen. I was a freshman when he was here. I remember him from playing baseball in the summer. He was our baseball coach.
Okay. And a few people have said Jack was kind of a rough coach. You think that's true?
He got his point across, let's say that.
All right, cool.
And I had nothing to do with it, but I got blamed for it.
Are you buying this, Jack? Are you buying this?
Hi, Jack. This is Bonnie Mayberry. I used to babysit for you. Peggy Drake is a really good friend of mine. Anyway, she called and she's flying into Lincoln, and she and I are going to meet there, and we're going to come to Kearney and see you. So I just wanted you to know that. Sometime this summer. I'm not sure when yet. So, hope things are well. See you later.
Neil Olson, hi Jack.
Give us some insight for Jack. Was he a pussy coach or a good tough coach?
Yeah, he's a tough coach.
All right, this is good because I don't want my friend to be a pussy.
He could probably tell you some stories about me, but I'll let him do that if he wants to.
Anybody else?
I'm one of the Robinette boys, way too young to have played for Jack, but I was on the sidelines enough to see him in action, and I wasn't looking forward to that.
You can tell Jack. I've been retired for 11 years from school teaching.
Are you still in football playing shape?
Oh, not quite.
God dang it. I don't know. I was a professional photographer with this damn cell phone.
I got you, too.
It's not supposed to be taking like 30 seconds. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Records and
You played for Jack?
I played for Jack. Yes, I did.
Better tell him your name. So.
Dale Whitney. The old over-the-road truck driver.
Well, that's cool that you're here, and thank you. Bye-bye. Let's talk about the Sage brothers. This is Jack Jones. He's 84 years old in Kearney, and he was the football coach for all three boys. So, Jack, would you talk about the Sage brothers?
Yeah, the Sage brothers were something special, along with a lot of other young men at Niobrara High School back in the 60s. I came there in 1961, and I think that Kelly was the last to graduate, but I had already left the Niobrara at the time. But starting out and telling just a little bit about him, I'll never forget Kelly. He was the youngest of the three boys that I had in athletics, and also the youngest one that I had in school. And he came to me, and he came down to the locker room, and he said, Coach, he said, I'm ready to sign up for football. And I said, well, Kelly, have you graduated from country school yet? And he said, no, Coach, but he said, I will. Here just in a few days, I'll be graduating from country school. And I said, well, how big are you? And he said, well, I weigh less than 100 pounds, but he said, I'm going to take Greg's spot on the football team. And I said, okay. And as a darnest thing, I had to make a special trip to Sioux City at Hoff Sporting Goods to find equipment to fit him. Not only helmet, but shoulder pads and hip pads and this kind of thing. And when I got all the equipment over there, he went to pass his physical, and first day out at the field with the rest of the football players, he was the smallest guy on the field. But he turned out to be one hell of a football player. And the guy that he was going to replace on the football team was his brother Greg. He was playing right guard for me, and also he was interior defensive player, played for me, and played for the Niobrara Lions. And I understand they changed the name of that team now. They don't call them Lions anymore, but we were very proud of it. And Greg was just something else in football. He just, he made all conference his senior year. And and then in track and field, and on that team, on that all-conference team, we played Elgin St. Boniface in a playoff ball game after the end of the season. Elgin St. Boniface had won 30 ball games in a row, and they came up to Niobrara to play us. And they scored 6 points against us. And I think the final score was 20-6, or it might have been a little bit more than that, but we had a standing-only crowd around that football field. Biggest turnout we'd ever had for a football game, and it was due to Greg and Kelly Sage and the rest of his teammates. We won the ball game. They scored on the first play from the line of scrimmage, and their running back got caught in the end zone. And as he went into the end zone and sprained his ankle, never played another down, and we won the game 20-6. And we moved up in the rankings. We were in Class C at the time, and I think we moved from about 7th up to maybe about 3rd in Class C, but competition at that time was just unreal. And then with Gary, he was kind of a unique cat. He was a manager for me in that with the football team, and he never played it down to football. And the thing with him is that he was more interested in getting his studies done and this kind of thing, and was really a good team player. In fact, remember every time we had the sprained ankle or cut on the field or whatever, I'll never forget one situation where one of the Indian boys that played football for me at that time, and I think it was Mike Keto, he got his hand stepped on out of the field, and he came over to the sideline, and Gary was going to take care of him, and I went over there and I said, Mike, I said, you got to get back in the ball game. And he said, well, Coach, he said, just look at my hand. And I said, well, what the heck happened? He said, well, I don't know. He said, it looks like somebody stepped on me. And I said, well, what are you doing on the ground? You're supposed to be playing football. And Gary said, Coach, he said, I think what we ought to do is just put a wrap on him and get him back in there. And so he did. He put a brown wrap on his hand, and he went back in the ball game. And we were playing Creighton at the time, and I don't think it turned out very well. We got beat by them, but it was a good ball game and that kind of thing. But that spring, we went down to Creighton for the Knox County track meet, and I'll never forget that. That was probably the 4th or 5th time I had taken boys down there to Creighton to play in run in the track meet. And both Kelly and Greg ran on that track meet, and Gary was along as one of our student managers for track and field. And that track meet down there, and I'll never forget it. Greg was over there competing in the high jump, and he set a new Knox County record at that time in the high jump, and he beat the county attorney's son, all from down at Center. He was a neighbor to me there in Niobrara, and I think Henry was his first name. His son, he had transferred from Niobrara down to Creighton, and he was a high jumper too, and Greg beat him in the high jump that day and set a new Knox County record. He jumped 6'2". And then also that particular day on the mile relay, he ran a quarter of the mile relay, and we won the mile relay that day. The first time in the history of the Knox County track meet that Niobrara had ever won the conference championship. And we ate them alive, and it was really due to Kelly and Greg and Gary and the rest of the athletes that I had on there at Niobrara. I'm very proud of them, and if you needed anything done, they were there to help you. And all the success that I had as far as a coach there, and they were part of that team. They were team players, and the community